Rocktober, Rocktober, Rocktober. That's what everybody says. It's like Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. The San Diego Padres are in their have their 50th anniversary season this year, and they're not doing so well. But anyway, they started in 1969 as an NL expansion team alongside the Montreal Expos. The Expos and Padres both had a lot of growing pains, especially the Padres. Did you know that the Padres are the only major league team to not have someone throw a no hitter for them? Amazing, isn't it? Tampa, Arizona, heck, even the Mets have done it at least once. So the Padres have never done that before. That is just like so freaking weird. San Diego was known as a great team that had a great minor league team in the Pacific Coast League in the 30s and 40s. That's why they got the franchise. Unfortunately, the Padres really didn't set off on the right foot till 1984, when they won the NL West and got to the NLCS. But anyway, they had some crappy managing. They had like crappy moves. Heck, even in 1974, the Padres were rumored to go to Washington. They printed baseball cards with the Padres having Washington uniforms, but that didn't work out because Ray Kroc, the guy from McDonald's, bought the team. And after the Padres sucked, he took the microphone and said, "These guys suck." An owner that really hates his own team. But in 1984, the San Diego Padres shocked a lot of people, including themselves. They won the NL West. They were taking on the Chicago Cubs, who basically had Rick Sutcliffe playing his lights out. Oh, dude. Game 1, Wrigley Field, in the afternoon. They get pummeled 11-0. Gary Matthews with their home runs. Heck, even Sutcliffe had a home run, and he's a pitcher. Padres lost game 2, and all the Cubs needed to do was win one game at Jack Murphy Stadium in the last 3, and they would be going to the World Series. It would be kind of a moral issue because Major League Baseball wanted to do more World Series games at night, and the Cubs didn't have lights yet. There were rumors that either the Cubs really had to get lights or they would have faced losing World Series games. Maybe they had to go to Comiskey Park, which had lights. Who knows? Or even St. Louis. But anyway, that would actually not work out because the 1984 Cubs, for some reason, choked on a ham sandwich, if you will. The Padres usually won game 3. Okay, and all the Cubs needed to do was stop Steve Garvey from destroying the team. 5-4 Cubs in the 9th. Lee Smith, great closer. Boom. Steve Garvey 3-run home run. And as Don Drysdale said, there will be a tomorrow. So yeah, there was a tomorrow, a Sunday afternoon game. And things were going well for the Cubs. Sutcliffe was cruising through until the 6th inning when disaster struck, especially with a ball going right between Leon Durham's legs at first base. Gee, a first baseman with a ball between his legs. Reminds me of someone. Buckner. Yes, Liam Durham had a ball go through his legs 2 years before Bill Buckner. And yet he doesn't get a lot of blame for what happened. So anyway, the Padres ended up putting on numbers and winning the NL pennant. Unfortunately for the Padres, they would fall flat to the Detroit Tigers in 5 games. They even won game 2, which was amazing. I mean, take it from me, like me, a Blue Jays fan. The Tigers were just too damn dominant. The Jays actually took second in the division, but they were 15 games out. So anyway, the Padres hung around, I don't know, not really having a lot of powerful stuff, with Tony Gwynn basically being their consistent guy. However, San Diego in 1998 got lucky. They got to the NL pennant by beating the Atlanta Braves, which was hard to do. San Diego had Kevin Brown under contract. They had Trevor Hoffman, one of the best closers of all time. They had Ken Caminiti, who 2 years prior won the NL MVP. And Tony Gwynn was still playing. So the Padres thought they could do well against the New York Yankees. Nope. The Yankees swept them. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, for obvious reasons, the Cutter rule that no team that lost in the final will be in the what-ifs. Basically, I don't want to repeat finals if I don't have to. And that's what I'm going to do. There was one San Diego team that basically ruled the roost. 2007, the San Diego Padres were hot. They were looking pretty good and all that. And they looked like they were going to win the wild card easy. But all of a sudden, Colorado winning like 18 of their last 20 or something like that, swung in the action and tied them on the final day of the year, which meant a one-game playoff in Colorado. They do decide in mid-September if there's any like wild card tie breaks or some kind of tie breaks. They flip a coin, and Colorado won the toss and got the famous one-game playoff before there was a wild card game playoff. So in 2007, Colorado looked good. And they had home field because, Mile High Stadium. Well, the Mile High Air. But the Padres played them tough. The Padres actually had a 2-run lead heading into the bottom of the 13th inning when all of a sudden Terry Hoffman could not get it done. Matt Holliday hits a sac fly trying to score the run. He's safe. Wait a minute, he didn't touch the plate. But the ump never called him out for it. Padres never called him out on it. Remember, no replay in 2007. So the Padres got fucked over for a spot in the NL playoffs. I got a feel for them, especially Trevor Hoffman. So obviously this what if is moving the Padres to where the Rockies were, the 2007 wildcard winner. San Diego would have to take on Philadelphia in the first round. Safe to say that if San Diego loses. Now here's the thing though too, because we all know that San Diego takes the place of Colorado, who won the NL pennant. So now comes the hard part. So what I'm going to do, well, obviously the Boston Red Sox and the American League go through. So what's going to happen is whoever wins this will take on, I would say Arizona or Philly. Arizona, because Arizona won that other series. So the winner would take on Arizona in the NLCS. If the Padres win this NLDS, then we'll keep going against Arizona like best of 7. If the Philadelphia Phillies are the champions, then I will make Diamondbacks Phillies a 2-game total run series to decide who gets in. Like 1 game at each ballpark, and then whoever has the most runs wins. Extra inning games will count double. And then I'll do a 2-game thing with the Red Sox to see who would have won the World Series in 2007. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Let's hope this works. So it's the Padres and the Phillies to start off with. Padres actually would have had more wins than the Phillies, but they were the wildcard team because the number 1 team was Arizona, and they came from the same division. So Cole Hamels started game 1 of the NLDS on his own thing. San Diego does get Jake Peavy healthy enough to pitch this game. And what a game it was for the Padres, 11-1. Yikes. Mike Cameron and Milton Bradley hit back-to-back home runs in the first inning. Jake Peavy even gets in the action with a ground rule double to score Marcus Giles. Milton Bradley again with a home run, 3-run shot. And then Marcus Giles hits a ground ball single to make it 7-0 to score Adrian Gonzalez. Greg Dobbs hit a triple to score Victorino. But Milton Bradley does it again. Oh my God, Milton Bradley hitting 3 home runs in 1 game. And everyone's like, oh my God, maybe he'll make it 4. Mike Cameron hits a home run down the left field line, 9-1, and then here goes Bradley. Doesn't take the bat off his shoulder, and strike 3, he's out. Amazing. Milton Bradley took a walk in the 8th inning to load the bases. And then Adrian Gonzalez gets a bases loaded walk to score Brian Giles, while Khalil Green scores Cameron on a sac fly, 11-1. And that was all the 2 Giles. Mariah and Marcus Giles actually reunited. I don't think they're brothers, but anyway. 5 home runs by the Padres. 3 by Bradley and 2 by Cameron. Amazing. 5 RBI day from Milton Bradley. Jake Peavy, 8 innings. Brett Tomko does the rest. Dobbs the only RBI for Philly. Cole Hamels only goes 2 innings before Freddie Garcia pitches 7 innings the rest of the way. So Peavy to David Wells, right? No. Greg Maddux will start game 2 with Kendrick. Game 2 in real life. So they start the federal Greg Maddux, and it doesn't work. Phillies win 3-1. Kind of a low-scoring affair until the 4th when Agon hits a double to score Milton Bradley, 1-0. Guess they know Bradley's secret. The Padres and Phillies fight tooth and nail, but Greg Dobbs hits a double gets a ball that actually bounces to the right field corner. He's got inside the park home run. Amazing. And Jay Victorino scores ahead of him. Chase Utley RBI scored Rollins 3-1. And that was all. 7 hits between the two teams. Kuzmanov, 2 of the 4 hits. Guess they stopped Milton Bradley. Greg Maddox only 6 innings for the loss. Heath Ballard and Clay Meredith. Philadelphia only getting 3 RBIs. Oh yeah, that's because it was 3-1. Dobbs with that weird thing. Kendrick did not get the win. It was Tom Gordon. Brett Myers with the save. This was before Brad Lidge became the closer in 2008. So Kendrick passes the ball to Jimmy Moore. San Diego passes the ball to Chris Young for Game 3. And it didn't work. The Padres lose on home turf 4-2. Back-to-back triples from the Phillies. Rollins and Utley made it 2-0. And then all of a sudden, nothing till the 6th when Carlos Luis gets an RBI double for score Rollins 3-0. Phillies make it 4 with Ryan Howard. Milton Bradley, hey, home run number 4 of the postseason. Padres have first and second, and then fuck you. So Howard with a home run, Rollins, Utley, Howard and Ruiz with RBIs. Jimmy Moore with the win. Tom Gordon, Brett Myers. Milton Bradley, 2 RBIs. Chris Young, 6 innings, and Bell and Meredith. Okay. Hamels versus Peavy. Can Peavy do it again? He does. 5-0. Wow. Amazing. So nothing to do. Wow. Everyone is shutting them down until Khalil Green gets a 2-run home run to score him and Agon. And then in the bottom of the 7th, Milton Bradley, RBI single to score Giles. Agon with an RBI single to score Cameron. Khalil Green gets a sac fly. Phillies only got 2 hits. Victorino and Ruiz. And Ruiz is supposed to double. Cole Hamels, 6 2/3 for the loss. J.D. Durbin. The Padres. Green, 3 RBIs. Jake Peavy, 11 strikeouts. Great job. Now we got a Game 5 in Philadelphia. San Diego decides to go with Chris Young again. Phillies have to go with Jimmy Moore. So I go with the young defender Jimmy Moore. The plan was into the 10th inning. They got to the 10th inning. Marcus Giles with an RBI single to score Kuzmanov. And then Khalil Green, 3-run home run, 4-0. Oh, Khalil, we're going to win. Padres are going to win. Padres are going to win. Padres are going to win. Going to win. Pat Burrell in the 4th home run. It was 4-1 to the bottom of the 7th. A few chances with the bases loaded. Jimmy Rollins hits in midfielder's choice. Chase Utley, 2 RBI single to score Dobbs and Bourne. And then Pat Burrell makes it 4-4. Poor Padres. I feel so bad for them. And then runners were first, second for the Phils in the bottom of the 8th, but they couldn't do a damn thing. Same in the 9th. And then the 10th comes up. After Kuzmanov singles, Bart singled, and Marcus Giles flew out, Morgan Ensberg comes in as a pinch hitter, and lo and behold, he hits a home run to beat the left field wall. Unbelievable. The Padres win. The Padres win 7-4. Khalil and Ensberg with home runs, 3 runs, RBIs. Chris Young, 6 2/3. Heath Bell, not there. Clay Meredith, Trevor Hoffman pitched 2/3 inning, and then they go with Brooke Kyle and Scott Lindbergh. Phillies. 2 RBIs for Utley and Burrell. Jimmy Moore went 3 innings, not really doing well. Madsen 2 innings. Gordon, Thangiri, Jose Mesa? Really? Brett Myers is the guy who choked it, and Clay Condrey. So, good news for the Padres is that they get through and take on the Arizona Diamondbacks of 2007. So they're in the AL. So they have to go with Greg Maddox for Game 1, Brendan Webb for the Diamondbacks. Because, I said that Diamondbacks automatically win. First game, jitters for the Padres as Diamondbacks at home 1-3-1. Eric Burns, sac fly in the 3rd. Marcus Giles double to score green. And then Eric Burns. Mr. Burns, 2-run home run. 3-1. Nothing much happening. The Padres, Giles with the RBI. Maddox 5 innings and lost. Heath Bell, Clay Meredith, and Doug Brookile. The Diamondbacks, 3 errors by Burns. Webb with the win. Valverde the save. PV is well enough to pitch game 2. While Randy Johnson, the legend, pitches game 2. They want to get him a game in Arizona. And this game went 14 innings. Amazing. Bottom of the first, Orlando Hudson gets an RBI single to score Chris Young. Connor Jackson gets a sac fly. 2-0. Mamma mia. And then guess what? 6 runs for the Diamondbacks to give up in the 5th. Milton Bradley. Oh my gosh. 3-run homer. Josh Baird, bases loaded, double to score Gonzalez, Green, and Kuzmanov. And then Gonzalez with a ground. Edgar Gonzalez, the pitcher, grounds it out to score a run 6-3. Eric Burns triple, 6-4. Brian Giles, RBI single to make it 7-4. Bottom of the 8th, Chris Young makes it 7-5, and then all of a sudden you got a couple of fielder's choice, and they let the run score. Drew and Reynolds, the culprits. Padres 7-7. Nothing really happening. Basically, until the 13th inning, no team really got a fire starting. Base runners on the corners when Mike Cameron makes it 8-7. But then Eric Burns in the 13th hit the home run to right. It's 8-8. They have runners on first and second, but they lose Quinton and Snyder to outs. Padres nothing. And then the Diamondbacks, Connor Jackson with an RBI single to win the game, 9-8. So the Diamondbacks are 2 up on the Padres. Amazing stuff. Bottom of the 14th. See there. So they went PD, Bell, Hoffman, Meredith, Brookile, Langford, and Kevin Cameron. Diamondbacks, you see there? A lot of work done. Randy Johnson, Edgar Gonzalez, Tony Pena, Jose Valverde, Brendan Law, Juan Cruz, Dustin Nippert. So at 2-0, you got to be thinking, this isn't good. This isn't good. So anyway, we got ourselves Chris Young against Levon Hernandez, leaving Micah Owens probably for a game, which I completely screwed up about because it's supposed to be the other way around in San Diego. Saved it. Padres, I think, won that little thingy, but anyway, 9-3 is your score. So the Padres score a win. Connor Jackson, 2 RBIs. Oh my God, the Diamondbacks could be playing the Red Sox in the playoffs. Levon and Eric. Score Levon Hernandez, probably. Brian Giles, infield single, 2-1. On to the 6th when Agon goes Agon. Boom, boom. Right field 2-2 tie. And then the bottom 7th, Gonzalez takes the bases loaded off for Hairston. Then Khalil Green. Where is he coming from? He hits a grand slam. Make it 7-2. And then Cameron gets an RBI to score Marcus Giles. Agon gets a sac fly, 9-2. Diamondbacks win it. Ojeda scores Drew. Connor Jackson, 2 RBIs. Levon Hernandez, 5 2/3. Then Pena. Then Brandon Lyon is the guy who fucked it all up. Juan Cruz, Dustin Nippert, Ismael Petit. Third. Agon and Green with home runs. Chris Young gets a 7-inning win. Heath Bell, Brett Tomko. San Diego decides to go with David Wells because they thought Arizona would go with a 4-man rotation too. And they did. But wow, look at how good the Diamondbacks were. 6-zip. Give me a one puny little hit. Mark Reynolds with an RBI single to score Connor Jackson. Chris Snyder with an RBI single to score Stephen Drew. Chris Young RBI single to score Snyder. And then Orlando Hudson scores Owens. Micah Owens? The pitcher. Owens does very well for himself. He gets an RBI single to score Snyder. Hudson scores Young, 6-0. At one puny little hit. So in the 7th, the Padres send Cameron, Bradley, and Gonzalez. Cameron pops up, Bradley flies out, Agon is out. And then in the 8th inning, still no hitter in Who agreed with? Kuzma grounds out. Josh Bard grounds out. Marcus Giles is out. Russell Brandon is out. Oh my God, he's 1 out away from a. Mike Owens is 1 out away from a no hitter. But Brian Giles takes a 2-1 pitch and gets a base hit. And that's the only hit the Padres do. 6 up. Using Young, Hudson, Reynolds, Snyder, Owens with RBIs. Strange how he gives up the hit and then they decide to pull him. But I guess 100 pitches is not good enough. Dustin Nippert. So the 2007 Padres, David Wells loses the game. Hampson, Tomko, Brookile, Hansley. So now all the Diamondbacks have to do now is win game 5. Chris Young obviously has to go because of the rotation. And I went 15 innings, so I don't know. But anyway, in the bottom of the first, Agon puts it single to score Milton Bradley, 1-zip. Eric Burns hits a triple. We're tied. Stephen Drew gets a sac fly, 2-1. It stays that way till the bottom of the 9th. With their season on the line, Agon rips a double. Kula Green makes it first and third. Valverde comes in the pitch. Kuzminoff grounds to second. A chance for a double play? No. They missed, and Agon scores. We're tied. Josh Bard gets a double play. Diamondbacks have a runner on first in the top of the 10th and can't do anything. Padres had a runner on first. First and second for the Padres in the bottom of the 11th, but Josh Bird flew out. Brian Giles makes a mistake on a fly ball. Augie Ojeda is on, and Chris Snyder's on third base in the 12th, but Young grounds out, so the Padres have a chance. They don't get much. Diamondbacks, runner on first, nothing. Padres in the 13th, nothing. 14th inning, runner on second. They decide to walk Salazar to get to Chris Young. Big mistake, you think, but no, Young swings and misses. 2-2. Padres, nobody gets on base. In the top of the 15th, Hudson gets an infield single. Burns walks. Connor Jackson gets a double that scores both Hudson and Burns. Stephen Drew pops up. And then Mark Reynolds hits a home run to make it 6-2. Padres have runners on first and second, but fucked it all up. So the Padres do end up losing the NLCS to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Look at all those at-bats, eh? Reynolds with a home run. Burns with an RBI. Connor with 2. Stevie with 1. Mark with 2. The Diamondbacks use 8 pitchers. Brendan Webb, Valverde, Pena, Lyon, Cruz, Gonzalez, Nippert, Matters. Brandon Matters? Padres, well, they get some help from other people. Gonzalez, Kuzmanov, help me. Chris Young, Heath Bell, Meredith, Hoffman, Brookile, Lindbergh, Cameron, Hampson, Tomko. So they go through 9 pitchers for the Padres in 15 innings. They fuck up. So now comes the hard part. So the Diamondbacks will play a 2-game winner-take-all series against the Boston Red Sox. Just for the hell of it. I mean, oh, hold on a minute. That's just, yeah, you know what? Let's just assume that Boston wins the World Series. Boston did win the World Series, so let's just go with Boston. Would have taken down Arizona. And we'll just make it so much easier for everybody to enjoy.